Coming up, what you need to know about the first alert weather day you'll wake up to. After outcry from parents, the Fergus Falls School District is doing away with its mandatory mask policy. Plus, several people displaced tonight after a fire in Wadena. Valley News Live at 10 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good evening, everyone. A first alert weather day is on its way. We begin tonight with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson with a first look at the forecast. Hutch?
Stacy, thanks so much. Good evening, everyone. Made it through a hump day, and it was a cool one, gray one, and it was a wet one as well in the south. More on that in a second. It is that first alert weather day for your day tomorrow, mainly in the morning hours for that hard freeze. It's on the way. Take a look at these air temperatures right now. 31 already in Devils Lake, Langdon. Colder than that. And we still have milder air to the south in Fargo and Point South, where the clouds are thicker and the rain continues to fall. Here's a look at our time lapse tonight, and it was lovely indeed in Devils Lake, showing the clear skies breaking out there. That's one of the things we need in the recipe for mighty cold air to take hold. Here's that radar showing some heavier showers of rain. Otter Tail County, Wilkin County, moving south and west. This blob of yellow moving into Rothsay. That's another heavy blob there, and that's where the rain is focused for many hours, where you see the greens here, over an inch of estimated rainfall right there on the Red River between Richland County and out into Wilkin County. That's where the rain continues. It is wrapping out of here. Clear skies moving in. It's going to be a brutally cold night, and it will be in the 20s. So protect those plants and make sure you have that frost scraper handy for the morning. Oh yeah, and bundle up the bus riders if they're riding a bus tomorrow. I'll have details on how low we go, and we'll talk a little bit more about rainfall in the valley and how much fell here in a minute.
All right, thanks, Hutch. New tonight at 10, a wild chase led to a large police presence this evening on County Road 17. Highway Patrol and Clay and Cass County sheriffs responded to a driver fleeing police with one passenger inside. A Clay County deputy was trying to stop the car for speeding, but the driver took off. They say the driver, 43-year-old Jerry Belgard, was eventually arrested. But police say the other person in the car, 32-year-old Michelle Perona, had moved to the driver's seat and sped off. We're told Perona hit another vehicle before driving into a ditch.
Our deputies arrived on scene, noticed the vehicle in the ditch, and were alerted at that point by a citizen who stated that the individual had run into the tree line over here. And so we quickly set up a perimeter along with the assistance of the North Dakota Highway Patrol around this particular area, and then the individual fled from the trees, and we were able to take him into custody at that time.
Perona was arrested and taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. After a packed school board meeting last week with dozens of parents marching through the streets voicing their oppositions to the district's mask mandate, the Fergus Falls school superintendent has confirmed come Monday masks will no longer be required. The mask requirement for students was set to expire on October 24th. Today, in a special session, the school board voted 4-2 not to extend it. We're getting a clearer picture of what the controversial Africa restaurant and nightclub may look like if and when it reopens. The club was given 30 days to find a buyer for its liquor license or have it revoked. Today, Fargo's Liquor Control Board is approving a recommendation of the transfer of the license to the building's owner. Valley News Team's Alex Larson found out how that will work. Alex?
Thank you, Stacy. The owner of the building housing the Africa Bar and Restaurant is commercial realtor Tyler Brandt. Because Brandt has only had a short amount of time to put together his plans for the business, the Liquor Control Board didn't receive as much information as it normally would for a plan like this to be approved. The Liquor Board may have approved his request, but there still are some conditions, the board said, after seeing what has happened at the club in the past. It wants to make sure there is new solid ownership and management. The Fargo Assistant City Attorney Nancy Morris said the Africa nightclub and Brandt made an agreement to transfer the license. With the timing of the agreement, it does fulfill the board's requirement of 30 days for Africa to sell or return the license to the city. But it could be a few months before Brandt has the details, like a long-term manager, worked out. When Brandt figures out the details requested, those plans will be reviewed by the Liquor Control Board again for approval. The matter would then move on to the full city commission to decide if it's approved.
You know, it would be his risk if he bought this license and he comes with a bad application, etc., and we say, no, this isn't good enough, that's a suspension or a failure, we're not going to activate it. So I think there's probably some legal reasons also that we should do this based on past.
The city auditor said he talked to Brandt before the meeting and was told that it's intended to name a top-notch manager first before figuring out what the business is going to look like. In studio, Alex Larson.
Hey, thanks, Alex. The City Commission is set to discuss that license at a meeting on November 1st. A massive fire damaged several apartments and 3 businesses today in Wadena. That happened near the post office just after 11 this morning. For a time, there were flames coming from the 2nd floor of the building. 7 people are displaced tonight. The American Red Cross has stepped in to help them. One of them, Kyler Bethel, tells us a stranger stepped in to give him a coat earlier when he had to evacuate.
I'm incredibly thankful for all the community help and just everybody.
The cause of that fire is still under investigation. Do any of these faces look familiar? Fargo police need your help finding these suspects, all of whom they say are involved in different investigations. If you have a tip, you're asked to text it to Fargo PD, or you can submit the tip online. A Crookston intersection where a 10-year-old was hit by a semi-truck will be seeing some changes next week. Minnesota DOT crews will remove the right turn lane on westbound Robert Street, and parking spaces near the intersection have also been removed to allow for wider turns and clearer visuals. Apparent human remains have been found in the hunt for Brian Laundrie. Elise Preston takes us to South Florida with the latest in the weeks-long search.
After searching a Florida wildlife preserve for weeks, the FBI announced the discovery of suspected human remains and some of Brian Laundrie's personal belongings in a nearby park.
Earlier today, investigators found what appears to be human remains, along with personal items, such as a backpack and notebook belonging to Brian Laundrie. These items were found in an area that up until recently have been underwater.
The FBI gave no additional information on the remains, including whether they think they might be Laundrie's. According to a statement from the Laundrie family attorney, Laundrie's parents decided to search the park Wednesday morning and then directed FBI agents and police to the location where they found the items. The FBI says it could take days to process the area.
This is an active and ongoing investigation, so we ask the public to maintain distance from any law enforcement personnel, equipment, vehicles, and other related activity for the safety of the public and to protect the integrity of our work.
23-year-old Laundrie was reported missing more than a month ago. Law enforcement named him a person of interest after the disappearance of his fiancée, 22-year-old Gabby Petito. Her body was found last month on the edge of Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. Laundrie and Petito traveled out west together on a cross-country road trip over the summer, but Laundrie returned home to Florida without her. Last week, investigators ruled Petito's death a homicide by strangulation. Elise Preston, CBS News.
The attorney for the Laundrie family says Brian's parents were helping law enforcement with the search at the reserve this morning, and they say there were human remains found near Brian's possessions. The Senate is calling on Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg to testify on Instagram's impact on kids and teens. It comes after a whistleblower testified in Congress and highlighted the damage the site can do to mental health and body image, especially among young girls. Leaked documents show Facebook has been researching these effects for a few years, and lawmakers say Facebook leaders have hidden information and declined to directly answer questions about their findings. Federal officials are continuing their investigation into the Maryland couple who allegedly tried to sell nuclear naval secrets to a foreign country by smuggling them into a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. During a hearing today, prosecutors made a case to keep the couple in jail. They added the government couldn't find most of the classified information they believe was stolen, saying if the information got out, it could cause extreme damage to the Navy. The FDA has authorized booster doses of the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccines. The agency also okayed a mix and match approach, saying any of the 3 authorized vaccines could be used as a booster. The FDA also gave emergency use authorization for boosters of Moderna's vaccine for people 65 and older who were fully vaccinated at least 6 months ago. The agency added that a booster dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine may be administered at least 2 months after vaccination. The National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day is coming up this weekend. In Moorhead, you can dispose of your prescription drugs at the Azul Hornbachers from 10 to 11:45 in the morning and the Main Avenue Hornbachers from noon to 2. Still ahead tonight, Tourette's is on the rise with some teens. We'll walk you through what social media app may be part of the problem.
We've been talking cold all week long, but do you remember last year? On this date, we had several inches of snow in many locations. This was Ortonville. Sean sent that photo in from last year. Here are some snow reports from 1 year ago today. Rain still active, no snow on the radar, but the cold is on the way. Your forecast.